Denny Hamlin wins the Clash at the Coliseum, but tempers flared, and there is a ton of drama to cover, so let's get into it. Coming up next. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing good today. All right, Denny Hamlin gets it done. He leads 58 laps. He led at the beginning. He led at the end. At the beginning, he dropped back like he had an anchor attached to the car. Apparently, they made some really good adjustments at the halftime break or whatever. And then he came all the way back through the field, held off the likes of Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, a charging Ryan Blaney, I would like to add too, and Ty Gibbs, who led 84 laps, and we're going to get into him in just a minute. But yeah, Denny Hamlin went from the back to the front, so first win for the new body for Toyota, and Denny Hamlin gets it done. The star of the Netflix documentaries. I'm still not finished watching all of them, but he seems to be one of the stars of it for sure. I would say the star so far, I think, would be Booty Barker. But like I said, let's get into the rest of this, because Denny Hamlin winning was not the bigger story, because there was drama galore, starting with the race itself. So NASCAR decided to move the race up one day because California was going to get an unprecedented weather system in their area. So I want to start off with saying I think they made the right move. As hard as the move was, they made the right move. Now, obviously, it's going to hurt attendance. They had to refund all the people that bought their tickets for Sunday. Yada, 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 so, blah, blah, blah. And they had all week to do it. They could have moved this race up much earlier in the week, so that's the only real critique. But at the end of the day, even though they did it late, they made the right decision by getting the race in on Saturday as opposed to today. So they made the right call, but obviously this hurt attendance. It hurt your broadcast. I'm not even going to be critical of Fox, because Fox, the analysts or whatever, were probably trying to watch the heat races and gather information on the heat races before they prepared their Clash at the Coliseum notes and stuff like that to do the broadcast. So I'm not even going to be harsh on the booth, although I thought the booth was good. I thought the camera work was, once again, Fox camera work, but I'm not going to judge that because they probably did not have the same amount of people they would have there for the camera work as they would have had for the big Clash at the Coliseum if they knew everything in advance. So I'm going to lay off all of them. I think NASCAR did the right thing. They did it late, and I'm going to save my critique of if I think Fox improved or not until Daytona, when they've had a proper amount of time to prepare for the actual main event. I will say this, though. The stupid comic book graphics, they're still there. So I'll just go ahead and critique that now. But that was not the only drama to be had there, because Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Michael McDowell got into it. Michael McDowell stuffs it in, makes a late move, an aggressive dive bomb. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. spins out, and he was none too happy about it. Under the caution, they're banging against each other. And so that is something to watch going forward, because neither one of those guys are really going to forget, and neither one of those guys is going to back down. But Ricky Stenhouse Jr. wasn't done there. I couldn't find a clip of them beating and banging under the caution fly, but I did find a clip of this where during the halftime break, apparently something happened between John Hunter Nemecheck and Ricky Stenhouse Jr., as you see here, because Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is all up in the window of the 42 car, giving John Hunter Nemecheck an earful. And even as you see him walk away here, even in the walk away, you see how aggressively he's walking away as the track officials are sort of telling him to get away from the car and get in your car. That is not a friendly and kind walk away, because, and I'd like to point this out once again, John Hunter Nemecheck, not really a guy who's going to back down, not really a guy who's scared to be aggressive, and Ricky Stenhouse not either, because, I mean, and if you look at it this way, maybe it's a triple threat match. If you're familiar with the WWE, you got Stenhouse versus Michael McDowell versus John Hunter Nemecheck, so maybe a triple threat match. But believe it or not, that drama pales in comparison to this drama between Joey Logano and Ty Gibbs. Now, to just catch you up, because this is a short clip, I couldn't find the full clip of it, and I don't know if it's all the way out there, but I've seen several clips. Ty Gibbs waves over Joey Logano to have a conversation, and you can see the conversation gets heated right here. They're not super happy with each other by any means. And the only thing I could make out on any of the clips that I see is when Joey Logano is walking away, Joey Logano says, "I'll remember that," and he points his finger at Ty Gibbs, and Ty Gibbs says, "I've been watching this my whole life," and then Joey Logano says, "We'll keep watching." So I don't know what to say about that, other than it reminds me of two middle school kids who don't really know how to fight, but they don't really know how to trash talk either, but they're on the playground and they're trying to trash talk and they're trying to fight. But you know what these two guys can do really well? They can't necessarily trash talk really well, but you know what they do really well? they can drive a race car really, really well, and these are both championship contenders. And what makes this interesting to me is that if these guys turn into a Dale Earnhardt Sr., Jeff Bodine wreckfest because they don't like each other, because they're both stubborn and they're both not scared. Neither one of them are scared to do what they need to do, in their opinion. This could affect the championship greatly, because I think Ty Gibbs is going to be in the mix for the playoffs, and I think Joey Logano, obviously it's an even year, Joey Logano is going to be in the mix for the playoffs. So if these guys take this outside of the Clash into the regular season or even into the playoffs, this could be something that gets really, really interesting as the season goes on. Not even a first points paying race, and we've got massive drama with potential playoff implications. So it's a wild start to the season, but that was not the only drama.
Well, so he was really fast there on one of the long runs there at the end, and I let him go because he was way faster. And then the restarts get crazy. I think it was the second last restart, and I was able to get in front of him, and then the leaders started racing, and that was right when Ty Gibbs got back in line, and Bubba just decided to run through me and sent me through Ty and spun him. So I hated that because, I mean, we were running 5th, 6th, and 7th. I just thought we would kind of just settle in and get to the finish. But, yeah, so, I mean, and then, there I was just like, okay, whatever. It's the style of this racing. And then, I haven't seen any of the replays from the last restart, but he got me again, and then got me again the next corner. So I think at that point, I was 3 times to my none. So I wanted to get him back before the checkered. I wasn't trying to spin him out or anything. I was just trying to shove him through the corner like he was doing me, and he ended up going around. So product of this racing and finally reaching my limit, I guess. But yeah, just how it goes.
So you heard that clip right there from Kyle Larson. At the end of the race, according to him, Bubba Wallace had run into him several times, and he was just trying to pay back the favor by rattling his cage a little bit. And when he went to rattle his cage a little bit, he spun him out. Didn't mean to do it, but he was trying to pay back the favor, according to Kyle Larson. Now, I saw some other Bubba Wallace fans. I saw one on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it post, typical Fox, they don't show Kyle Larson wrecking Bubba Wallace at the end of the race. But then in the comments below that, there was a Bubba Wallace fan that says, look, dude, I'm even a Bubba Wallace fan, but you knew that was coming the way Bubba Wallace was coming through the field like that. So at the end of the day, the emotions on it are going to be mixed. It just depends on who you pull for. But I will say this, Bubba Wallace seemed pretty loose after it. He didn't seem like he really cared, because typically if Bubba Wallace is mad, he'll post something on Twitter, kind of petty or whatever, typically. So I don't think he's mad about it. And obviously you see right there, Kyle Larson doesn't think anything big about it. So I don't think it's going to turn into a Joey Logano, Ty Gibbs situation or the triple threat match that we mentioned earlier. I don't think the two drivers really care about it. But the two fan bases, I think that they're going to have, they might have some words about it, but, it is what it is. I think this is absolutely going to be a nothing burger, because I don't think either driver cares about it, but it'll probably get played up by the fans and possibly by the media. The media is going to do what they got to do to sell tickets, but let's end this thing on a positive note. Daniel Suarez did not make the Clash at the Coliseum, but you know what? He was in the Mexico race, and he made the absolute most of it. He wins the NASCAR Mexico race Clash at the Coliseum in the Quaker State number 99 car. So good on him. Good for him. Great comeback. Obviously he had to be bummed out that he didn't make the Clash, but he kept himself in a positive spirit. He still knew he had another race to go that night, and he gets the job done. So congrats to Daniel Suarez on getting it done over there. Great win for them. Great win for Trackhouse. And that's about all I got for you on this one. If you made it this far, would love to have your subscription. If not, I'll keep making these things. If you're already subscribed, I appreciate you all as well. You got a question, comment, or anything like that, leave it down in the comment section. I get to as many of them as I can. And other than that, thanks for your time. Peace.